The Dragonfly Shimmer Cowl is a celebration of color, texture, and light. Worked in a radiant gradient yarn with a subtle sparkle thread, this cowl captures the iridescent glow of dragonfly wings at golden hour. The zigzag stitch pattern adds gorgeous movement and dimension, while simple construction makes this a relaxing yet stunning project. Whether you style it for everyday wear or a gift to give someone special, this shimmering cowl is sure to become a standout accessory. Make sure you follow the link in the video description to get the free pattern with charts. Round 1 starts with foundation single crochet, and to begin foundation single crochet, you want to start with a chain 2 that counts as your first stitch. Then you're going to insert your hook into the second chain from your hook, so you don't want to count the working loop on your yarn. You'll count back 1, 2, insert your hook in the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1 loop on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on your hook. So the chain 2 counted as our first stitch, the extended single crochet counted as our second stitch, and now to work our next stitch, we're going to work into this vertical bar to the side of the stitch just worked. So you're going to insert your hook into that bar, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1 loop on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on your hook. And so we're counting our stitches now from the V stitches on this side of our work. That will end up being the top of our work when we're facing the single crochets. So let's turn it back to the way we hold it while we work, and we'll insert our hook into that vertical bar to the side of our work, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1 loop on our hook, and yarn over, pull through 2 loops on our hook. And you want to continue doing this until you have a total of 75 stitches. This is what your work should look like at the end of row 1. You should have 75 single crochets. This is a reduced size sample, so I only have 40 single crochets, but I wanted to point this out to you because if you're modifying this in any way, using a thicker yarn, a thinner yarn, you want your stitch count to be a multiple of 5 stitches at the end of row 1, so it really doesn't matter. Row 2 begins with slip stitching into the first stitch, which was that first chain 2. We're going to slip stitch to join, making sure that we don't twist round 1. And then round 2 is going to start with a chain 1 and single crochet in each stitch around. Single crochet is insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on your hook. We've done 2 stitches. You want to keep doing this until you've worked all 75 or however many stitches you're doing for your cowl. At the end of round 2, we're not going to join our work because to work, we're doing a total of 5 rounds of single crochet for the lower band of the cowl. And in order to keep that nice and smooth, there's really no reason to join at the end of the round. These stitches are so short that working in a spiral actually looks best, but you do whichever way you like, it's okay. So when you're trying to figure out what your first stitch is for the beginning of the next round, that's the slip stitch from round 1. That's the chain 1 from round 2. So we're going to work into this stitch for the first stitch of round 3. And so rounds 3, 4, and 5 are a repeat of round 2, which is to work 1 single crochet in each stitch around. At the end of round 5, we are going to slip stitch to join because we want to finish off that spiral so we can start working in exact rounds for the next section of the cowl. So round 6 begins with a chain 3, which counts as a double crochet, and then work 1 double crochet in each stitch around. Double crochet is yarn over your hook, insert your hook in the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on your hook. And you want to work 1 double crochet in each stitch around. At the end of the round, you want to slip stitch to the top of the chain 3 at the beginning of the round to join, And this is what your work should look like at the end of round 6. You should have 75 double crochets if you're following the pattern exactly as written. And if you've modified the stitch count in any way, whatever you started with in a multiple of 5, we're not changing our stitch count throughout. So you just want to maintain your stitch count that you started with at the beginning of round 1. Round 7 begins with a chain 3, which counts as a double crochet. And work 1 double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. Our next stitch is going to be a front post treble crochet, and we're going to work it around the post of the stitch 2 stitches prior, 2 rows below. And what does that mean? So if 2 stitches prior would be not this stitch but this stitch, if we go down 2 rows, it would be around the post of this stitch here. So we're going to yarn over our hook twice, insert your hook around the post of that stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on your hook. Okay, now we're going to skip the next 3 stitches. So if you look behind the work, we worked in this one. This one's empty, this one's empty, this one's empty. And then we're going to front post double crochet around the post of the next stitch 2 rows below. Yarn over twice, insert your hook around the post of that next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on your hook. Okay? Now working behind the work, we're going to work 3 double crochets over the stitch prior to this one, and the next one. And now we're going to work front post treble crochet around the same post that we just worked the previous post stitch around. So this one right here. So yarn over your hook twice, insert your hook around the post of that same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on your hook. And that's what your work should look like at the end of that repeat. Now let me show it to you on this one. So we're doing these raised V stitches. So what we're doing is a front post treble crochet, then what you're not seeing here is the 3 double crochets behind it, and then the front post treble crochet around that same post. And if you notice here, we started with a partial repeat. We started with the 3 double crochets. So at the end of this round, we're going to work our second post stitch around that same post to finish our round. So let's go back to our repeat now, and we're going to look behind our work. This stitch was worked into, so we're going to skip the next 1, 2, 3 around the post of the next stitch 2 rows below. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 rows below, yarn over twice, insert your hook from front to front around that post, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on your hook. Now working behind those stitches, the second to last stitch skipped would be here, work a double crochet, then work a double crochet around in the next stitch, which is above the one we worked the post in, and double crochet in the next stitch. We're working 3 double crochets centered over the stitch we worked the post around the post, and then we'll work a second front post treble crochet around that same post. And we're going to repeat this all the way around. At the end of the round, if you recall, we started the first repeat with the 3 double crochets and then the second front post treble crochet. So now we're going to finish that repeat at the end of the round by working the final front post treble crochet around this same post here. And then slip stitch to the top of the chain 3 at the beginning of the round to join. And this is what your work should look like at the end of round 7. Round 8 begins with a chain 3, which counts as your first double crochet, and work 1 double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. Then we're going to work our first front post treble crochet around the post of the double crochet that's 2 stitches prior and 2 rows below. So yarn over your hook twice, insert your hook from front to front around the post here, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on your hook. We're going to skip the next 3 stitches, which is the next 2 front post treble crochet stitches, skip the next double crochet, and that center double crochet stitch here, work around the post of the stitch below it. So yarn over twice, insert your hook from front to front around the 4th stitch over, 2 rows below. Then behind our work 1 double crochet into each of the next 3 double crochets, which means we're going backwards for the first one, straight overhead for the second one, and to the next stitch for the third one. And then we'll work a front post treble crochet around the post of that same stitch we just worked around. It sounds more complicated than it is. If you think about where you need to work your stitches, we're looking for that center double crochet 2 rows below to work both sides of the front post treble crochets, and we're working double crochets into the 3 double crochets from the previous row. Okay, so even though we're skipping 3 stitches and in the 4th stitch 2 rows below, which is technically what we're doing, which it has to be written out that way. If you look at your work, we're working into the stitch above the post stitch from before, the one right above it, which is also right below the center stitch of the 3 double crochets. So our repeat is front post treble crochet around that center post stitch 2 rows below, then 1 double crochet into each of the next 3 double crochets, working behind the treble we just made. And then front post treble crochet around the same post we just worked around. So I've said it in multiple ways because maybe a certain way I say it or show it might make more sense to you. And then you're going to repeat this all the way around. At the end of the last repeat, we've made it all the way around to the beginning of the round, so we're going to now finish our first repeat by working a front post treble crochet around the same post that we worked our first front post treble crochet around at the beginning of the round. And then slip stitch to the top of the chain 3 at the beginning of the round to join. And this is what your work should look like at the end of round 8. You want to repeat round 8 for your desired length. If you're making the pattern exactly as written, rounds 9 through 23 are going to be a repeat of round 8. Here's the finished cowl so you can see what that full repeat section should look like. Now, also a great contrast is that this not only works for a self-striping yarn, but it would really be beautiful in a solid color yarn too. It really shows the texture really well if you're doing this in a solid color. Okay, so when you're done with the textured section, we're going to repeat the 5 rounds of single crochet for the last 5 rounds, and we're going to work them in a spiral again. So we're going to work 1 single crochet in each stitch around for all 5 rounds, meaning don't join with a slip stitch at the end of these 5 rounds until we get to the very end of the 5th round. At the end of the last round, you want to slip stitch to join and fasten off. Make sure you follow the link in the video description to get this free pattern with charts on my website. If you have any questions, by all means, please always feel welcome to leave them in the comments. Let us make time to create, share, and inspire today and every day. I'll see you in the next video.